365 Days of Horsemanship, day 261. So yesterday was a pretty nice day. I had a slow start. I definitely was feeling really overwhelmed about everything. I think just feeling like every single one of my problems has to be fixed now. And yeah, so that was kind of a lot, and it took me a little extra time to get out of the house, get into the day. And so I came up and I actually had a really successful session with Lawrence, which really motivated me. I'm still playing a lot with the scratching, and I feel like now I found something that really is helping with that, which is basically I'm using his sensors to distract him at moments where I would like him to change focus, so that I can have like a moment of flow and go back to the scratching before it's too much again. Because what I was finding was, like, I rewatched Elsa's scratching video on her Patreon. I will link her Patreon below. And it was just, it was really reassuring, because the main premise, and I think I wrote it down in my notes. Let me grab my notes. I thought I was going to have like this whole page of notes, and I was like, maybe going to take a picture and talk about it. I wrote one sentence, which is great because it was super simple. And I wrote, if I wait to be provoked, I'm enforcing that it's never enough. And what I meant by that was, if I wait until Lawrence needs to tell me to go somewhere else to move his feet because I wasn't there for long enough to scratch him in that place, or he needs to ask me to be scratched, then that's too long, and I'm reinforcing that I'm never in the right place, I'm never stroking him enough, and it's never good. And so what I'm finding with him, what I was finding before, and it was kind of reassuring because that's what I thought. And I thought, maybe I'm doing something wrong here. And I'm not. I am and I'm not. I'm not in the understanding of the basic psychology, but my timing is not super great. But equally, he's really challenging because he's at a point now where he doesn't get distracted very often. Once he's into the scratching, it's like scratching until the next place, until the next place, until the next place. And it's impossible to keep up until the focus change happens and then get back fast enough because it's so obsessive. And so I was talking with the ladies from the study group for the foundation course from Elsa Sinclair that I was on in November, December, January, and we were talking about the senses because that's part of the confidence course. And I know a little bit about the senses. Obviously I spent some time with Elsa in February, and gave me a really good idea that maybe I should use the senses to help me sort of win this game, and give me a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of the upper hand. And so it's much more support, but what I was able to do is, Lawrence really likes smells. I often see him smelling things to help himself feel better, particularly smells that are interesting to him or nice smells. So like if he comes into a new herd, the first thing he'll do is he'll go around and he'll smell every single poo in that field. Like it's like, and he'll go in this little pattern. It's like he's a little like a little harrowing machine. Like he'll just go along and like he's got to sniff every poop, and he can't talk to anybody or think about anything or do anything until he's sniffed all the poos. And like definitely that's the focus change I've noticed him go to the most often when I'm playing with more intense supportive leadership, like the rocking and the stroking. The most likely focus change I'll get is he'll start sniffing the grass. So what I did was I brought from my bag this teeny tiny little perfume bottle. Oh my gosh, my hand is so muddy. Horse life, right? I bought up this teeny tiny little bottle that's just got like perfume in it. And so then what I would do is I would scratch basically trying to work out the moment before he was about to feel like he needed to move, then I would quickly pop this open and hold it out to him and he would smell it. And during that moment where he was smelling, I was able to be in flow, be still. He would think about the smell for a moment, and that would give me enough time to go back and start scratching him again before it got too overwhelming. Oh my goodness, this made so much difference. My timing was still really on and off, and there were definitely still times where I had to take a walk because I'd left it too long. But the amount of time before he stopped even wanting to be scratched and started grazing was much shorter, and that was really exciting. So yeah, I did film a video. Some of it got one of the other horses is like super interested in the camera, and I know I just have to be patient, but it's really difficult to just like take that breath and not be annoyed when half my videos, like 5 minutes in, he like will wander over and just like boop, and then the camera's facing the other way. So I don't know how much fun I've got, but I will have a look at what I have got and talk you guys through some of what's happening in those moments. So that was really nice. And I brought Mia up. Our sideways on the ground is going really nicely. Practiced a little bit of that and introduced yesterday a new game where we're looking at, oftentimes on the circle, she'll have this counterflexion to the outside. And I had the idea that maybe I could use the sideways to help her with that as well. Where every time she looks out towards the outside, we play with the sideways until that neck releases back towards the inside, and then we can release into a walk again, which I think is gonna work really well. I only started it yesterday, played with it yesterday and today. Yesterday it was just setting up the pattern, which she seemed to go quite well. And I think it's going to work particularly because she's looking that way anyway. So it's sort of like the opposite of brace. Like I could, I've tried lots of different things where I'm like pushing her shoulder and pulling her inwards, and there's all this push pull, there's lots of pressure, there's lots of like micromanagement going on rather than waiting for her to find the answer as part of a different game, which is something that like finding the answer is like a phrase I've heard so many times, and I feel like now I'm really understanding that ingredient enough that I'm able to apply it on my own to situations like this. And yeah, so I'm really hoping it will work, particularly because she's looking that way, she's looking outwards. So for me to push her outwards and away is like, yeah, let's go away, until she's like, oh, actually that's really like hard, because she doesn't like sideways either, which is great because basically it's a win-win, because either she has a lovely, beautiful inside flexion, we have a lovely circle, or we practice our sideways, which we're not very good at. So it's like there's no downside to this pattern really, which is the best kind of pattern. And yeah, so that's really great because it means that I can say, yeah, what a great idea, let's do some sideways towards this direction that you're so interested in, until she says, actually I have a different idea, let me bend my neck in. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's go for a walk, that seems way easier. And I can relax into the walk, I don't have to send her, she can just have the idea on her own, and I can be like, yeah, that's a great idea. So yeah, so I'm really happy with the psychology of that. And so yeah, I was just setting that up yesterday, wanted to have a little ride, but then once I got on, it went well for a couple minutes, and then Larissa and I got talking, which was so nice, because I haven't seen her in obviously over a month, so it was really nice to catch up. And Mia basically just got to have a nap instead of doing any work. So yeah, but it was a good day all in. It was a really good day. I was really happy with introducing that pattern with Lawrence and finding that it worked really well. That really motivated me because our relationship was feeling really difficult, really heavy for me. I was feeling really frustrated. All the doubt and the self-esteem and everything was coming up for me, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't do this, I don't have what it takes, I don't know anything, I didn't learn anything, I still suck, blah 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 blah, was all going on in my head. And yeah, it was really just encouraging, and I think that it's really helped me. I think I'm really going through a thing at the moment where I'm understanding I need to reach out for help to people, and I don't need to be so hyper independent all the time. Like it's not cheating if someone helps you with something. That's not cheating, I don't have to work out everything all by myself all the time. Like, I can have conversations with people that help me think about things or have ideas. And yeah, and that's a good thing. And having a community is a really good thing. And being able to like step up and say, hey, like, what do you think about this? You know, because the conversation that I had in the study group brought me to that idea. It wasn't that the conversation itself wasn't necessarily about the ideas, but it brought me there. And so that was really powerful and really helpful. And I think it's really important for me to remember, to reach out more. So yeah, it was a good day.